Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Pathos Heavy's Living with HiFi series. For anyone that didn't hear about the announcement of our series, we're going to do a new series of videos where a member of our staff picks a piece of HiFi and brings it home to put it in their own system, live with it for a few weeks, maybe a month, and then we can give you back some feedback on exactly what it was like with this product in our own systems, some of the, obviously the pros and the cons, and just a really honest, in-depth look at how we got on with the product and what it was like, over an extended period of time. So today, as you can see, the product that I chose to look at is the Pathos Classic One MKIII. For anyone that's not familiar with Pathos, the Classic One is a hybrid integrated amplifier. Again, for anyone that's not familiar with hybrid, basically in simplest terms, hybrid is a valve input stage with a solid state output stage. The advantage of that really is you get a little bit more power than a standard valve amp, generally speaking. So it is a popular way that a lot of manufacturers go, and it obviously suits a lot of customers as well. So as I say, I had this in my system I think for about 3 weeks, and I really enjoyed it. I honestly have very few negatives to say about it, but we'll start with the positives, of course. So this has a really beautiful, warm, rich musical sound. Pathos are a brand I'm a big fan of. They do some really nice products, and I actually love this little integrated. It just does everything that you want it to. It's, as I say, it's warm, it's musical. You've got 3-dimensional depth. It's got a really big sound stage, and so sonically it did a lot of things exceptionally well. It's really nice bass. The tops there was detail there, but it was never harsh. It was never bright. It was just a really controlled sound, and it was a sound I was able to sit down for hours on end and enjoy. It didn't become fatiguing. It didn't become, annoying after a while. It was just really enjoyable, and I was able just to go through album after album, just really enjoy my music, which I think is what it's really all about. And I think that is the side of a good product, is that when you can just sit down and enjoy it for hours. With the styling, I love the styling of this product. I think there's so many little features, so many things to look at. Everything down to little wood embellishments in the front, obviously red transformers, the chrome, this lovely black acrylic on top. I just think it's a really well styled amplifier. It's built exceptionally well, as you'd expect. All Pathos are made in Italy, and all the components are really good. I never had a single problem with it the entire time I had it. I appreciate it was only 3 weeks, but it never gave a sign that it was ever going to cause me a problem. Never flinched really, so I was really confident with it. The other thing I really actually liked was the warm-up time I found in this was it was pretty quick, really. About 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. It was pretty much up to temperature and sounded really good. Obviously the longer it was on, the better and better it got, but yeah, about 20 minutes, half an hour was all it took really. So that was a really nice thing as well. I was able to switch it on, and to be honest, by the time I went, made a cup of tea or got something to eat, something like that, I was really compact and listening to HiFi. So that's a lot of the positives. I wouldn't really say they're drawbacks, but just a couple of things to bear in mind. That didn't affect me, but I could see in maybe other people's systems where this might be an issue. Obviously this product is quite narrow, but it is deep. So for 99% of racks, this probably won't be a problem, but if you are using your HiFi maybe on a sideboard or on a tabletop or something like that, just do bear in mind that this is a deep amplifier. And also, if you're reading the dimensions online, do bear in mind and always remember that just a little bit extra, because of course you'll have RCA cables or mains cables as well on the back, so you just need that little bit of extra movement there. And the only other thing really that I noticed was, as you'll see here, the speaker terminals are actually mounted on the top plate. For me, my system, this actually worked quite well, but do bear in mind with your speaker cables that you do need a bit of give with them, a bit of leeway, because obviously they do need to come in and go in obviously from the top, so you need that bit extra. Obviously if it's really tight, there'll be that tendency for them to pull back out again. So yeah, but besides that, you do obviously can go bare wire into the bottom here, but again, just make sure you have that little bit of give and enough spare cable there that you can do that comfortably where it's not putting any tension on the plugs. As I say, that was really the only issues I could see with it. This amplifier got so many compliments when I was there. I had a few visitors and they all loved the styling, all loved the sound, so it was positive all around really. The narrowness of it actually suited me because I was actually able to put another component on the same shelf beside it, so it actually worked out really well in my system. And the other thing I should have mentioned was the remote. It's a really nice remote, nicely made. So the only really slight niggle is that the buttons aren't labelled, but once you use it a couple of times, you remember how to do it very quickly, so it didn't really cause me a problem. And again, obviously the inputs and the volume can be changed in the front. On-off switch is easily accessible in the front as well. It's not like some amplifiers if you're trying to reach right in the back to get to it. So really, really nice amp to use. And a couple of people have asked me in the past about maintenance and things with really any valve amp. With this, it's ultra simple. There's no real maintenance to it at all. You have two input valves. I literally have customers who have had one of these amplifiers for 20 years plus and have never changed the valves. I personally would probably change them in that time, more from an upgrade path than anything. But yeah, maybe after 10 years, say. So really, this will do many, many, many hours, and you won't even need to do anything with it. So it's a very usable amp. It's a very easy amp to live with. It's a very easy amp to have, and I think it really stands out in most homes. It's almost a centerpiece. So there's a couple of tiny niggles maybe, which will only really affect you if you obviously don't have the depth or your speaker cable is very tight. Besides that though, I really had no issues whatsoever. As I say, in my particular system, those two little things didn't affect me in any way, but it was just two things I noticed which I thought were worth pointing out. Besides that though, it's a huge recommendation from me. I would have more than happily kept this in my system for much, much longer. So yeah, unfortunately I obviously had to come back for demos for in-store, but yeah, it's a huge recommendation for me. Really, really lovely amp to live with, beautiful to listen to, beautiful to look at. Very few things to say wrong about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight into the Pathos Classic One MKIII, and hope to see you guys soon in our next videos.